Hey guys, what is up? It's NihonTiger. How are you doing? I'm doing alright, and welcome back to Panic Mode. So, we are here, and hello Nihon and Orange Marsupial. I guess that is Captain has been over here. So, today, what I think we're going to do is I said that we were going to do metallurgy today. We're going to go mining and take a look at stuff, and I kind of thought about that, and I realized it was a bit of a boring episode to go ahead and do that. So I changed my mind, and we're going to leap head first into Thaumcraft, which is a mod that I am totally familiar with and totally love doing. So to start, what we need to do, and also you might notice some stuff in this chest here. There was a kind of an attempt yesterday to record this episode, and it didn't go very well. So I basically picked up all the stuff I made, threw it in here, and we're going to try it again. So let's start off by making the first thing here in our Thaumcraft experience, which is we need to take these iron nuggets, and we need to make iron caps by arranging them in a hat shape. And we need 2 of them. So we'll go ahead and take those. And we'll put those on either corner. And a stick in between. And we'll make an iron capped wooden wand. Ta-da! We now have our very first Thaumcraft item. So, you might notice in the top left corner there a little interface that pops up when I select the wand. That's your wand interface, and the circle in the middle is where any foci you have will be. And each of those tubes holds various V that you pick up from aura nodes and mobs, and I'll get more into that in a second here. So we've made our wand. Now we don't have one right offhand, but if we were to go, say, down to the enchanter down there and click on one of those with this little wand, what it would do, the bookcases is what I'm referring to by it. So if we take, oh, you left a sign out here too. But what we would do if we did that is we would create a book called the Thaumcraft, which I already made yesterday. That's why I didn't make one today, because it costs quite a bit of time to actually go out and get all the leather for a bookcase. We don't have a leather farm. But our Thaumcraft is where all of our information and our research is. And it has different pages here. So you have basic information, thaumaturgy, alchemy, artifice, and then more advanced stuff, golemancy, and enchanting. So if we come here to basic information, you can notice that there's little flashing areas of research here, and these lit up areas of research, as well as darkened areas. So you might be able to guess what each of those is. The lit up areas are stuff we've researched. The flashing areas are next steps that we can take along with the wavy lines. And the darkened areas are stuff that we can't research because we're missing the required research to do it. So basically, you have all these branches and whatnot, and you have to research one thing to be able to research more advanced things in that same branch. Like, for example, if you go to thaumaturgy, you can see we have not researched the great wood wand core, so we can't research this wand core over here, which I think this is the reed wand core. And likewise, we can't go ahead and research the thaumium wand caps because we don't have the gold ones, and the silver ones pop up over here. This is thaumium, so these are the best ones, and we have to research gold wand caps first. So here you can see we have some basic research already done for us in all of the pages except for enchanting and golemancy. So those are the only things that we can't go ahead and research right away. But what's cool about the Thaumcraft is that it is actually tied to each player. So what you research is tied to you. So for example, I lose my book, I drop my book, and it disappears. I can go over to like Kristen's house and borrow his book, and I'll right click it and it will look exactly the same. So it's really cool. You could also go ahead and just make another one if you want to, but that way your research does not disappear when you don't have a book anymore. Alright, so one thing I want to discuss with Thaumcraft is something called a table. And tables are pretty useful to start out with. So your table looks like this. If you didn't see how I had arranged, you had 3 half slabs here across the middle, and then you just had one solid block of planks underneath on either side. So you kind of make like a desk shape out of it, and that gets you a table. Now your table is going to be useful for your first 2 special items that you're going to make in Thaumcraft, and those would be the arcane workbench and the research table. So let's start with the arcane workbench. All I have to do is right click on a table to make an arcane workbench. This is your what your layout looks like for the workbench itself. So you have your wand automatically goes in the top right corner here. And you can click on that, take it out, and swap it in and out with other wands. It'll be very important. Whatever your output is right here, and this is your crafting input. So it looks kind of like a regular workbench, but you might notice that there's these little circles here. Now this is where your V will pop up, depending on what the V cost is for your item that you're crafting in the arcane workbench. Most of the early items in the game, so for example, if I take a look in here, for example, your goggles of revealing, or some of the like enchanted fabric, or what else could I use as an example? It's got to be a good example, like a wand foci. Those will be made in the arcane work table, and they'll have associated V costs with them that you'll need to have in your wand in order to make them. So V itself comes from 2 sources, which are R nodes and mobs. And it's what powers your wand, your foci, and allows you to make a lot of the early game items in the arcane workbench. So it's pretty useful stuff. I don't think we have a node around here to show off. Unfortunately, I will show you guys what a node looks like as soon as I run across one. But they're pretty easy to spot, especially with the thermometer, which I'll show you how to make in just a second here. The other item over here, this is going to be a research table. So to do the research table, what we need is to take a set of scribing tools, and scribing tools are pretty simple to make. All you just need is a glass vial or a glass bottle, feather, and an ink sac, and they're refilled by using another ink sac with an empty scribing tools. So what you do with your scribing tools when you've made those is you just right click on them, and there you go. Now this one's backwards actually, so if I wanted to I could probably break this, right click it again, and then get the feather ink on here, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a look. But here is your research table interface. So what this is what you'll be seeing a lot of in the future because it's very important. So over here on the left in this box, you have all of the aspects that you have, both primary and secondary aspects available for use in research. Your scribing tools are up here in the left corner. This box right next to the scribing tools is for paper. And this box right here that's highlighted is where your research will be. This box here in the middle, I'll show you real quick, is where you would go to put your various aspects. So for example, let's say we want to go ahead and put some air in here and see if we can research that and see if it gets us anything. What we would do is we would go ahead and put that air in there. We would just, all you have to do is click on it once and it pops into here. And then this box down here, this gray greenish box with the little light flickering, you just click on that. If there's research available that uses the air aspect in it to unlock it, you would get it pop up over here on the side. So how about, actually, let's try something. Let's try ordo. There we go. So transvector interface. This will show up quite a bit. So this is from Thaumcraft. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how this works. Here you can see that each of these research tables has the research itself on the research table has one node that is active and at least one node that is not active. So what you need to do to actually get that active is you need to form a bridge of connecting runes here that are illuminated. And you can illuminate them by checking out their corresponding aspect. So for example, this rune here is activated whenever we put ordo into it. It's also deactivated whenever you put ordo into it. So what you want to do is, since this will activate and almost turn into a glowing, it'll glow itself, which will connect a line from here to here. And since this is glowing, it will connect a line from here to here, which will activate this and get us our research. So let's go ahead and click on that. Now we have transvector interface all set and done. So we take our research out of there. This is now discovery. Right click on it, and we have transvector interface research complete. Now, let's say we wanted to combine two aspects together to get a third aspect. We can do that in here as well. So for example, Terra and Aqua combine together to create Victus, I believe. And if you notice, when I click on Terra and I click on Aqua, they both pop into here. This box turns off, but this box here, this box that shows them kind of combining into one, pops in. And all I have to do is right click on it, and there we go. Now we have Victus at the cost of both the Aqua and the Terra that we had in there. What's also pretty cool is if you go ahead and look in your Thaumcraft, if you go to aspects of magic, well, it's actually primal and compound is the way that they describe them. I usually describe them as basic and secondary, or basic and complex, which is kind of an easier way, I think, to remember it. There's 6 basic or primal aspects, which are air, terra, ignis, aqua, ordo, and perditio. And these can all be combined to form other aspects. So as you can see, on here on the left, I have a whole bunch of aspects, and it shows you, what's really cool is it shows you when you hover over an aspect. This is a new change that Azanor made. By the way, I should mention, Azanor is the guy who made Thaumcraft, and he's an awesome dude. But when you hover over it, so for example, vacuous, which is air and perditio, it not only tells you what you need to do to make it in the research table, but it shows you what items have vacuous in them as an aspect. I think my voice just kind of went away there for a second. Sorry about that. But it's very cool and very helpful. The Thaumcraft is very useful to have on you, especially when you're doing lots and lots of research now. So I usually carry it with me whenever I'm doing research. But there's an easier way to get aspects than just combining them here in the research table, because you notice I only have a certain number of aspects available. I only have at the moment 17 total aspects. That's a bit of a problem, right? How are you going to get a whole bunch of stuff from 17 aspects? Well, what you can do is you can go ahead and make something called a thermometer. And I'll show you how to make one of those as well right now. And with that, what you can do is you can go scan other things, other items, mobs, and whatnot. You can pretty much scan most of the stuff that's in the game and derive not only aspects from those items that you know, you can also research aspects that you don't even know yet. And if you're carrying a bit of scribing tools and paper with you, you could even get some research out of it. So it's pretty helpful. Now, to make a thermometer, what we need to do is take these 2 gold ingots, put them one on top, one on bottom. Glass goes in the middle. Order shard on one side. Whoop, did I not pick up the... Yep, the entropy shard. I forgot that one. So let's go ahead and grab that. And I think, if I remember right, it's water and earth, fire and air. And there we go. See, the thermometer popped out into our output box. And now we have a thermometer. Yay! Awesome. So as I mentioned, the thermometer lets you find aspects in blocks, mobs, items, or nodes, a whole bunch of stuff. So really it's pretty cool. And there's a couple different things that you can do with it. So for example, let's scan the orange stained clay. You get a couple of messages here. With the orange stained clay, it says nothing can be learned from this. So I can't scan this and learn any aspects from this ever. From the spruce wood, I've already scanned it, and it's given me 4 arbor as an aspect. The seared brick slab, nothing can be learned from this. So again, I can't learn anything from it. The bed, let's try the bed. You do not have all the knowledge required to understand this. So this is the other main message you'll get besides either no or yes. And in which case no is being nothing can learn from this, and yes being you actually get some kind of aspect from it. So when you get you do not have all the knowledge required to understand this, what that means is there's some other aspect that you don't know yet that's not in your Thaumcraft that you need to be able to scan this and get the aspects from it. So I happen to know what it is. I happen to know it's panis. I believe. I'm pretty sure it's panis, which is cloth. So we don't have that one yet, so we can't quite get the bed scanned at the moment, but we'll be able to at a later time once we have that aspect scanned. Oh, I should probably go grab some paper just in case. Because you can, as I mentioned, you can also get research from scanning if you have paper and scribing tools on you. And the thermometer is also pretty cool because hopefully what they'll let us do is come across an aura node. You can see aura nodes with the thermometer. So for example, I can go ahead and scan the cobblestone and it'll tell us that we have 1 research point in Perditio and 1 in Saxum. Spruce wood slab gives us 1 in arbor. Oak leaves I've already scanned, which is herba. Stone, I've scanned dirt, gives us terra. Scan water to get, obviously, aqua. Water to get aqua. Who would have thought? So let's see if there's anything else. I think there's some glowstone down here I can scan. Oh, gravel over here. Gravel. Yes, gravel. Gives us Sexum and Terra. So still no new research at the moment. There's a glowstone. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can scan it. We should be able to. Aha! I've discovered census as well, which is excellent because we'll need that shortly for something else I'll be talking about probably in the next episode, which is forcing research. So if you look, oh, I've also discovered a new clue. So Greatwood Wandport, excellent. That's very cool. That's actually something we're going to research coming up here, and I mentioned. So that's how you get various research from items. Oh, I got Pholatus from the Firefly. Very cool. So yeah, you can see that different things will scan from different mods. So Twilight Forest is compatible with it, obviously. Highlands is compatible with it. You'll find sometimes that certain things from mods will scan, but they also won't scan. Ooh, Spiritus, Arbor, and Herba. Interesting. Nothing can be learned from this. Dual work table. Park builder. Stencil table. Pattern chest. Oh, I've discovered more research as well. Oh, it might have been the Greatwood Wand Core. Sometimes it'll do that. If you have this same research, it will say you've discovered new research, but you haven't actually discovered new research. Nothing can be learned from these seared cobblestone and extra burnt quartz from extra utilities. So, how about rather than just sit here... Oh, that's quite a bit. So rather than just sit here and talk about things, how about I go do a really quick scan? And I'm going to make this a montage. I'll spend about 10 minutes just scanning stuff, and you'll see how much stuff that we're able to get as far as items to unlock, maybe even research. And by items to unlock, I probably meant to say aspects to unlock, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So, let the scanning begin! Woohoo! Okay, so we're back, and yeah, I'm just finishing up scanning a few things here in King's ship. But you probably noticed while I was out there scanning that some things were scanning and some things weren't. Some things were just nothing can be learned from this, some things were I need more research to understand them, and some things scanned right away. So that kind of happens with Thaumcraft, and eventually at some point you'll basically just get to a point where everything is yes or no. You don't have to worry about research because you'll have researched all of the various aspects that are available in the game. And once you're at that point, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just have to go ahead and just scan to your heart's content. But probably by that point you'll be too focused on researching to really worry about scanning all the time. So I am still in I am still in bat form. My voice is a little bit dry. I might have to grab a drink of water here real quick. But we have gone ahead. Let's see if I can. Yep, I already scanned that. Portal frame. Nope. But you probably looked over on the scrolly on the right there and noticed it just keeps going and going and going. That's just the way it is. So if we go ahead and go back into big person mode, we can go ahead and see how much stuff we've researched. And wow, look at this. Look at this. We had 17 before, but now we have 18 plus 24, 30, 32. So now we've almost doubled the amount of aspects that we have available. And the best part is they're all in our Thaumcraft already. So we got them for totally free. Isn't that pretty cool? That's really cool. I like that. I always like that aspect. So yeah. So for as far as the research actually goes, so you might notice we have the Great Wood Wand Core. Let's go ahead and throw that in there, and I'll do some research for this. So Arbor. Go ahead and move the runes out of the way. Take that out. Do that. Move that over here. Activate it again, and there we go. There's our research complete for the Great Wood Wand Core. So that's all set. As far as how I do the research in the series, I'm probably not going to go through the whole process once we start getting into the really complex stuff. So for example, like, let me just get my Thaumcraft out here. I'll show you an example when we get all the way down to start getting to, for example, it's not on here yet, but there's like a Thaumcraft jetpack in here that we can get. That's going to take me a while. Some of the various things in alchemy will take a bit, like the Alembic, Arcane Alembic might take a little bit of time. Some of the foci will take a little bit of time as well. So I'm not going to spend a whole time going ahead and just researching all of those on camera because it'll take up minutes of your time, and I don't feel like doing that. So I'll probably just do some real quick cuts here and there to show off, you know, okay, this is where it starts at, and here's where it ends, and then boom, have our research done. It's a lot easier for me to do it that way, and it's a lot quicker as well. I don't have to worry so much about having to talk the entire time to keep you guys entertained, because I'm usually dead quiet while I'm trying to figure these things out. Or maybe like occasionally, okay, well I gotta move this here, move that there. And that's not really too exciting. But next time, we can go ahead and I'll show you how to do something I like to call forcing research. And forcing research it's kind of a way to get what you want, but it's not always a way to get what you want as far as research goes. It takes a little bit of give and take. But hopefully, we'll be able to force some research next time and get started on 3 things in particular, which would be research mastery, a deconstruction table, and something called a foci for our wand. So, be able to power our wand up with some awesome stuff. And I'll also go ahead and talk a little bit about the aura nodes that we ran across. You might have noticed I ran across 2 aura nodes out there. Now that I know where they are, we can go ahead and visit them and talk a little bit about how they work and how to use them with their wand and how to make sure not to run them dry. It's very important. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the real quick beginner's basic guide to Thaumcraft here getting started. We will kind of dive into more complex stuff as time goes on, so stay tuned. And this little nook is probably going to expand into some kind of gigantic, monstrous Thaumic house. I'm probably going to have to build a separate house just for all my Thaumcraft stuff, because that's the way it usually goes. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time here on Panic Mode.